A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, A Gift to the Living, was written by Norman Rostin. You who listen are hearing my voice with your eyes open. Now imagine they're closed. Close them. Now you're in a dark world, hearing me in darkness. And now, suppose you rose from your chair in darkness and tried to move to another room. Then another. Your eyes closed, remember. And then sit, motionless, and think. Try it for an hour. Half an hour. Would the thought be bearable for a day? Now, open your eyes, take a deep breath. It was only a game. But suppose it was not. Suppose it was not a game. Suppose there was a world of darkness for you, and you were a boy who had to make his life in that darkness. Someone young, growing, quick in mind and body, quick fingers and tongue. How would you do it? How would you find your way? By sound and touch. The hand of a boy of 11 named Albert reaches out from sleep. Then his fingers touch the face of the clock, a special face in Braille, to tell him what his eyes cannot see. As he wakens, the house wakens with him, father, mother, and an older brother who likes early morning horseplay.
Up you go, Albie. Come on, come on.
Hey, cut it out! Let go of my leg! Hey, Freddie, watch out!
Boom, on the floor and right next to your shoes. Now, how's that for service?
How's this for...
Miss. Well, you're a wise guy, huh? All right, just for that.
Now, that's enough, both of you. Get in the bathroom and wash up, Freddie.
He started it, Ma.
He started it, Ma. Ha, ha.
Noise the minute you get up. Noise, noise.
Noise, noise. No kidding. Where's that shoe?
Hmm? Oh, here it is. Need any help?
Gee, Mom, I'm no baby. Since when do I need help?
Oh. My little Albert looks sad this morning.
Quit it, Ma. You don't have to kiss me all the time.
All right, I won't kiss you. What'll it be for breakfast, eggs or cornflakes?
Boy, am I sick of them. How about both together, eggs and cornflakes? I mean, just for a change.
Just for a change. I'll see you in the kitchen in 5 minutes, young man.
3 minutes. I'm starving.
How do the blind find their way? By taste and touch and sound. And by love. Love as the seeing eye. Not only love within the home, but that same gift outside. The gift of a stranger, often given unknowingly. For one may give and not know who is the receiver. And in this way, a stranger, an elderly lady far beyond schools and books, was destined to enter the life of Albert. And while he is having his breakfast with his family, this lady is having hers alone, after which she goes to a phone and dials.
Hello, it's me.
Mama, you all right? Oh, I'm fine. I'm up early, that's all. Nothing to do.
Isn't this your day for bridge?
Oh, that was canceled. Mrs. Weber is sick.
Well, aren't you going to your lecture?
That's tomorrow. It's not a very good course anyway. How are the children? I could come over today.
No, not today, Mama. I have the maid today.
All right, so you have the maid.
Why don't you take up golf, Mama?
With all I have to do, my dear? Well, I'm home. If you need me, call.
Mrs. Gussie Wasserman is an active woman, but restless, as are so many women of middle age. Her life at this point is busy, but vaguely unfulfilled. And living in a bustling community, there are constant demands upon her time.
Good morning, Mrs. Wasserman.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Abram.
I saw you through the open window, and your door was open.
Oh, come in. Please sit down, won't you?
I really haven't much time. It's Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah, that's the day we work at the Sisterhood.
Oh, yes, I remember you told me, yes.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, we bind the Braille books. On and on, never an end. We seem to get busier every year.
Oh, I can see what's coming.
Well, if you fail, try again. Oh, seriously, Mrs. Wasserman, why not join us? You can sew, I'm sure.
Well, of course I can sew.
All you would do is help sew pages in a book.
What do I know about books and pages?
Nothing to know. The question of being willing to give some time.
Oh, my dear, don't talk to me about time. I have my daughter to help out at least one day a week. There are luncheons, my weekly lecture course, and I know bridge isn't important to many women, but it is to me. Also, my work for the PTA. I really couldn't tie up any more of my time. Really, I couldn't.
Drop in at the Sisterhood for a visit. That's all I ask. Just see what we're doing.
Oh, I'm sure it's worthwhile, but in my case...
Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll have tea. What can you lose? An hour?
Oh, well, I suppose I could manage that.
Gussie Wasserman sits back in her chair and shakes her head. She gives a sigh.
Oh, why do some people always expect other people to have time for them? I'm busy enough for a widow with grown children. I certainly think I am.
While Gussie ponders her life, in the other house, breakfast is over, and the boys prepare to leave for school. Fred, the older one, is ready, but Albert seems to tarry a bit longer in his room. His mother finds him there, sitting quietly on the bed.
Albert, what is it?
Gee, Ma, I wish I didn't have to go to that private place. Why can't I go to the regular school with Freddie?
Oh, now, dear, I explained to you before.
All the fellas on the street go there. And me, I'm just stuck away.
Oh, you're not just stuck away. What a foolish expression.
It's true. I don't know why we have to beat around the bush, like calling us sightless stuff.
Now, come on, dear. You'll be late.
I guess so, but I wish I could go with Freddie.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, the old brush off.
Let's go, Albie. You like to talk. Yakety yak. Come on. Jimmy's waiting outside.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, dear. Oh, say goodbye to your father on your way out. He's in the kitchen, Albert.
Yes, Mom.
We'll talk about the school later.
An old wound is opened. How much can the parent do? How best to work in the interest of the child? How to make his life as normal as possible? Should he go to a school for the blind? Or study with a private tutor? Or is public school best? The brother goes to a public school. Perhaps that would be wisest. But there are prejudices everywhere, not only because of race, color, or religion, but the prejudice of handicap. And even a principal of a school is not immune.
Mrs. Coulter, I'm trying to see your point of view, but you must consider our situation here. Our schools are crowded, every seat is in demand, each class must keep up its scholastic pace, and naturally, a blind person in the class creates special difficulties.
Oh, but he's very bright.
For a handicapped boy, I'm sure he is.
No, it's more than that. He's very eager to learn.
I'm sure he's making a good adjustment.
I only know he'll have to adjust to a world that exists outside the normal world. Because we never think of him as being blind, really. I mean, he is, but he's plain Albert to us, a good, talented, likable boy. No special favors in the house. He's treated like the other children. Praised if he's good and punished if he's bad.
Mrs. Coulter, please understand. We're not a corrective institution. We're a school. We have standards.
But Albert will keep up those standards. Oh, can't you try? Let him attend classes for a month. He's very good at Braille.
That's another point. His books.
Well, we'll supply them somehow.
He'll need the same books as the class if he's to keep up with them. I doubt very much if the standard Braille printing covers our school text. That's the greatest obstacle. He can't very well attend classes without proper books, can he?
Books. That was the obstacle, one which an organization known as the Sisterhood was well aware of. Working in a synagogue, this voluntary women's group met Tuesdays and Thursdays to continue a project begun 20 years earlier. On this particular Thursday, it rained, and for want of something better to do, Mrs. Gussie Wasserman paid her friend Mrs. Abrams that promised visit.
Good morning, Mrs. Wasserman.
Well, Mrs. Abrams, I decided to come.
I'm glad.
Just out of curiosity.
Any reason is good enough.
I'm busy with my daughter this afternoon.
Oh, then we have the whole morning.
Mrs. Abrams, really, what can I do? What do I know about books? I don't even know about this...
Braille.
I don't know anything about it, not a thing.
You don't have to know, but I'll show you anyway. Now, here's a page of Braille. Close your eyes. Good. Now put your fingers on this page. Here. Let me move it across the paper. What do you feel?
I feel little pinpoints. Like that?
Right. Each group of these raised dots is a letter of the alphabet. You read by your fingers. Here. Here, you see? Move your fingers and I'll translate. He went into the house.
Oh, it's amazing. And you make a whole book this way?
Dozens of books. Hundreds. Oh, we're not the only bindery, but we're one of the first. We like to think one of the best. You see, we do mostly textbooks or special books, which is why we're so much in demand. Some others even do Hebrew books.
And you do this for anybody?
Well, whoever sends in the Braille pages. And if they aren't in Braille, our transcribers do that as well.
Oh.
We work with individuals, with institutions, Jewish and non-Jewish, whoever needs help.
It's a wonderful idea, really wonderful.
Let me take you around. You'll see how our ladies of the sisterhood work. Well, come on, they won't bite you.
And while Mrs. Wasserman was shown around, without knowing it, her fate was being linked with another, a boy of 11 named Albert Coulter.
Now, let's see, Mrs. Coulter. Spelling, reader, here's the geography and arithmetic. Are you sure this sisterhood group does arithmetic too in Braille?
Oh, yes. They promise.
Now, these books will have to be ready before classes start. He'll have to keep up with the rest of the class.
He will. I know he will.
We'll see that he gets every consideration.
Oh, thank you, sir, but please, no special consideration. We've leaned over backward to avoid that. We've brought him up that way.
I understand. Of course, our problem will be with the others in the class, how they'll adjust to him. But we'll handle that. Your problem, and it's a big one, is to make sure Albert has his books on time. That's his only chance.
Mrs. Wasserman, hello.
Hello? Yes?
This is Mrs. Abrams from the Sisterhood. Did you decide?
Well, I'm still thinking about it.
While you're thinking, could you come down and help us tomorrow? We have an emergency. Please.
Well, all right, just for the day.
Mrs. Wasserman came early, was shown her place, and began to work in the bindery room. She was shy at first and spoke very little. Slowly, as the hours passed, she felt more at ease. The voices in the room were gentle. Everyone worked urgently but easily, as though a quiet joy were in each, as though their labor was something understood and shared between them. Young, middle-aged, or old, theirs was a labor of love. For what else but love would bring them here? And all kinds of books were waiting.
The Bible story for boys and girls, Junior Sports Anthology, Annie Oakley, The Magic Carpet, The Way of the Truth and the Life, The Jewish People's Book, Science for Modern Living.
Mrs. Wasserman read some of the titles during lunch break and shook her head in surprise and wonder, for she realized that behind these books were people waiting, people who lived in darkness, whose language was in their fingers, and they waited. And Mrs. Wasserman sewed, and that day ended.
Very good, Mrs. Wasserman. Thank you. We hope to see you again.
She came again, then decided on a few more days. But the few days ran into a few weeks, then a few months. And something awakened inside Mrs. Wasserman, something that had been asleep for a long time. Between Tuesdays and Thursdays, despite her activities, she became restless. She couldn't sit on the porch any longer. Bridge became dull. Her lecture course and luncheons didn't quite satisfy. And the day came when she answered a telephone call from her daughter.
Thursday is absolutely impossible, my dear. I watch the children Friday. I have my own life. I'm sorry, but I have an appointment, too. And if you must know, with a young man.
And in a way it was true, for out of Mrs. Wasserman's fingers came the pages of the books for Albert Coulter, a gift of love from the old to the young. Her skilled fingers sewed the pages onto the strips, and from there other fingers bound them. And not only was a book created, but a human being.
My spelling, Mom. I'm almost done with these old pages now.
I have to pick up the new pages tomorrow. Don't worry.
I don't want to miss the test.
We didn't miss one test so far, did we?
We're up to the big fractions now, Mom. Gosh, where are those fraction examples?
Here are your fractions. They came this morning. Now, don't be a pest.
Hey, I got 96. That's almost 100, isn't it? Wow.
And while Albert was learning, so was Mrs. Wasserman, in a different way, of course.
What are we doing, Mrs. Weber? I'll tell you. Our bindery will complete 900 books this year. The service to the Sightless Committee now has 81 active transcribers, 55 in the Sisterhood, 20 from Westchester Community Center, 6 from the Blessed Sacrament Church, 3 from the College of New Rochelle, and 1 from Crestwood Genesis Temple. What do you say to that, Mrs. Bridge Player?
Mrs. Wasserman always spoke her mind.
We must do something about the binding paste. Can't we get paste that smells nice, like, say, peppermint?
Or on another matter.
Must we take the summer off, or even a month? With all these books piling up? 2 weeks vacation, no more.
And during the summer, Albert's books for the new term were transcribed and bound. And Mrs. Wasserman's life took on something new. Her eye caught all the news about Braille. There was a Jewish Braille Institute. The Bible was already in Braille, and even the Hebrew prayer book was being brailled. The bindery was not just work, it was meaning. Those little dots on the page challenged her, those dots of mystery and wonder. You touched them with your fingers and they told a story. What miracles next? She thought of this one day, her fingers shuffling the needle through the pages, when she heard a voice speak to her.
Hello, Mrs. Wasserman.
Why, hello, Mrs. Coulter. And how is our little scholar today?
Oh, just fine. Did you know Albert was head of his class last term?
Oh, I'm not surprised.
He can read a book a day, imagine. He hears about a book from his brothers or his friends, but how can I get all the books transcribed? He wants too many. After all, transcribers have the school books to do first. He wants poetry now.
Poetry? Oh, that's wonderful.
He got a book of poems, a present, and he's so excited. Well, I told him to wait. I read to him, but he only wants to read himself. Well, poetry can wait, I tell him.
And now came the final step in the rebirth of Mrs. Wasserman. This was a challenge beyond all others. A boy wanted poetry. Could she make the pages of Braille? To put the pages together was one thing, but to make them, to create the words themselves, could she perhaps master it?
Why not, Mrs. Abrams? It's true, I haven't a college education, but I think I have the intelligence.
Sure you have, Gussie. But you must realize it takes almost half a year to become a certified transcriber.
So what's a half a year?
Well, you have to go to class once a week, do a lot of homework, then you take an examination and get a certificate from the Library of Congress. Then the work begins.
There's a boy who wants poetry. Why shouldn't he get it? I'll be the poetry department. As for time, I'll cut down on my bridge and I'll give up my lecture course. There are ways to find time if you want to. That's one thing I learned.
But, Mama, you promised to come over.
I'm sorry, my dear. I'm going to school now.
Did you say school?
I'm studying Braille.
You're taking on more work? But, Mama...
Now, don't mama me and listen. You're a big girl. We're both grown up. We can tell the truth. You don't really need me. You need me only on the maid's day off. And I would come just because I had nothing of my own to do.
But I
Let me
never...
finish, please. I'll still visit you and see the children. But now I have my own things to do. I never knew what they were. Now I know one thing I want to do, what my heart wants, something useful. It's like when you have another child and he's learning to walk. How could you turn away even for a minute?
A little over 6 months later, a boy named Albert, living in his world of darkness, opened a new book in Braille and felt light at his fingers, and the light spread to his eyes and his heart as he read.
Poems for Young People by John Williams, with permission of the publisher. Highland Press, New York, 1952. Transcribed in Standard English Braille by Gussie Wasserman of the Jewish Community Center of White Plains, New York, under the sponsorship of the Library of Congress, Washington.
And in the lower left-hand corner, which his eyes could not see, was the small sticker, bound by the volunteer workers of the Bindery of Sisterhood of Temple Israel, New Rochelle, New York. Let there be light, said the Lord, and thus light is created.
How's this poem, Mom? I wrote it myself. Listen, the little snowflake. The little snowflake, coming down, gathers more and more as it hits the ground. And it just comes down with a lot more white, looking like a bowl of light. And then it melts into water again. And now flowers and fruits start to sprout again, because it is now spring. Not bad, huh?
Because it is now spring. And he wrote this, Albert?
Yes, and others too.
Oh, he'll be a poet. More trouble.
It started from that book you did for him. The poems, you remember?
I did? Oh, and for years I ran around and did nothing. So what next for Albert? After public school comes high school and then college. Oh, well, I had to work hard.
Oh, do you mean you really
keep
tried
up with his books as a certified Braille transcriber. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have something to work on, an emergency. But when isn't it an emergency? A professor, imagine. He's blind, but a teacher. So he's going to teach in Braille. To teach. So we're all rushing with the books, and I'm doing guess what? History. The things that you can learn in history, I tell you, are something...
How do the blind find their way? By taste and touch and sound. And by love. Love as the seeing eye. Let there be light. And light is created by man too, by his faith and his work, in the image of God. If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mrs. Louis Sussman, President of the National Women's League of the United Synagogue of America. Mrs. Sussman.
According to an ancient legend, in the time between the Exodus from Egypt and the revelation on Mount Sinai, all the blind regained their sight. All the halt became whole, so that the Torah might be given to a sound and healthy people. The legend tells us that God wrought for that generation the same miracle which he will hereafter bring about when the eyes of the blind shall be opened again. Today we have the miracle of Braille, by which blind persons can enter the world of sight and participate in reading the books of their choice. For the many dedicated persons who are actively working in the transcription and binding of Braille books, there is a great spiritual satisfaction. The service they render is in reality carrying forward God's wish that the eyes of his children be opened. Today's script describes the work which is being carried out by many groups. Specialized books are being transcribed into Braille to enable the sightless to get the materials they need for research, relaxation, or spiritual guidance. In this respect, the Jewish Braille Institute, now celebrating its 25th year, has been of tremendous service. The National Women's League of the United Synagogue has made it possible for the Jewish Braille Institute to prepare the Sabbath, Festival, and High Holy Day prayer book in Hebrew and English Braille. This prayer book, which consists of 9 large volumes, has been of immeasurable value to adults. To sightless children, it has given the opportunity to participate in their religion with understanding and joy. I quote a few poignant lines from a letter received from the mother of one young child. She writes, quote, "For me to say that Stephen was happy to receive the first 2 volumes of the prayer book for the High Holy Days is an understatement. It was as if a great hunger had been at long last partially satisfied. When he stood alongside his father during the services on the Day of Atonement, the boy was as though electrified. His own Braille prayer book was in his hands. Swiftly his fingers followed the service as the rabbi intoned the words. Now, for the first time, he too could say the words that his finger found so readily. His joy at being able to keep up with the congregation was a miracle to behold. No longer was he an outsider. He was now part of the congregation and could commune with his God himself. The Jewish Braille Institute has done for my son what no one and no other organization has ever done for him. They have given to Judaism another soul, one that has hungered to be part of that great religion. We shall be eternally grateful." Unquote. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, we read, "Love thy neighbor as thyself." How can we better follow this precept than by helping in the work that brings sight to the sightless?
Thank you, Mrs. Sussman. Our Eternal Light drama today, A Gift to the Living, was written by Norman Roston. Cantor Robert Siegel sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Adelaide Klein, Peter Laser, Ann Tiemann, Mary Jane Higby, Dennis Balabio, Guy Rep, and Inga Yolis. This is Mel Brandt. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and is directed by Daniel Sutter. This is the NBC Radio Network.
Children of Israel, that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, The King's Pawn by Marion Voigt, was adapted from Lillian Freehoff's Stories of King Solomon, published by the Jewish Publication Society of America.
It's true, of course, King Solomon was one of the wisest men who ever lived. But do you imagine he just sat down and wrote out all those proverbs of his with no trouble at all? And no slow learning from life itself? Well, it could be, of course. But there are legends that have lasted down through the centuries that tell of Solomon the man as well as Solomon the king. They tell of Solomon who liked games, for instance, particularly chess. And they tell of one game in particular, with his first lieutenant, Benaiah, that had more consequences than anyone expected.
Oh, Benaiah! Benaiah!
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
Here you are, still busy with accounts. Have you forgotten our game?
Our game? I thought you did not wish to play this evening, Your Majesty.
But do we not play every evening before dinner, Benaiah?
Indeed, Your Majesty, but last night you said you were going to watch the races at the Hippodrome this afternoon.
And so I did. But the races were over an hour ago.
Oh, really? But I never dreamed. I spent all afternoon on these papers and delayed the visit I must make to the dungeons. Indeed, I have to make it, Your Majesty, and I thought I would have ample time.
But that is all right, Benaiah. Go ahead and make your tour of inspection.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty. And we will forget the chess game this evening?
Forget it? Oh, we will play when you return.
Oh.
Benaiah, there is something in your tone. I thought you enjoyed chess as much as I do.
Oh, I do, Your Majesty.
Perhaps you grow weary of always having Solomon for a partner.
Your Majesty, I'm honored to be the one chosen as Solomon's opponent. It is only...
Yes?
Your Majesty, you're such an excellent player. Sometimes I fear it may grow tedious to you playing with someone who never wins.
Oh, it is not so easy to win from you as all that, Benaiah. Each night it is a new problem to break through your defenses. Go now, on that visit you must make to the dungeons. I will be waiting to see if I can win from you this evening.
Very well, Your Majesty. As you wish.
And so Benaiah set off through the corridors of the palace, down the steep stairs to the dungeons. With such a wise man as Solomon for king, with kindly Benaiah as presiding judge of the Sanhedrin, there were few indeed whose wickedness was deemed so incurable that only the dungeons would serve. But there was one prisoner there whose mischief was beyond anything human, and he had been there many months.
Benaiah!
quiet, Asmodeus.
Be quiet, be quiet. Is that any way to talk to the king of the demons? Is this any place to keep the king of the demons? When is King Solomon going to keep his promise and release me?
His promise?
I told him where to find the magic worm that would cut the stones for the temple. He promised to release me for that. What sort of king is this Solomon who doesn't keep his promises?
King Solomon keeps his promises. If he has not released you yet, it is because you are always causing some mischief or disturbance here in the dungeons.
He's keeping me here while he tries to think of some way to weaken my powers. That's it. I know it. Is he not always talking to you of some new scheme for rendering me helpless before he sets me free?
No, Asmodeus, he is not. He has not spoken of you in a month or more.
Oh, he has forgotten me and his promise. This is the wise and just Solomon.
Oh, be quiet, demon. I do not believe he has forgotten his promise, but if it will quiet you, I will remind him of it again.
When? As soon as you see him. When are you seeing him again?
I'm seeing him very soon, as soon as I leave you. We are playing chess again today, after all.
Why do you sigh that way, Benaiah?
I sigh because I had thought for one day to have a respite.
A respite? But is it not a pleasure to play chess with such an opponent as Solomon?
It might be if I would ever win, but I never win. Never. Of all the games we've ever played, I've not won one.
Ah.
It wears a man down day after day after day, playing his very best, and still not able to win even once. I would give my soul to win just once.
Your soul? Did you say your soul?
Yes, of course I would not give my soul. Take that sly look off your face, Asmodeus. I was only talking wildly.
But it is a wish that goes very deep, this desire to win.
I do not deny it. I am a good chess player, a very good chess player. I would like to win just one game.
Well, you could win. By hook or by crook.
By hook or... by cheating, you mean? Never.
But why not? If you want to win so badly, you might only have to cheat a very, very little.
That is enough, Asmodeus. I will remind His Majesty that he promised to release you, but I assure you the keeping of the promise will depend on an end of your mischief here in the dungeon.
Think of it, Benaiah, how it would be if you were the one to cry, checkmate!
Goodbye, Asmodeus.
And you could win, you know. By hook or by crook! By hook or by crook, Benaiah! By hook or by
crook! Well, you're willing to believe it was a true demon there in Solomon's dungeon. Well, certainly only a demon would find his pleasure in such a wise as Asmodeus did. But Benaiah was a good man, as well as a good chess player, and he forced Asmodeus's words from his mind as he hurried to face his king over the chessboard. And today, for once, the game went well for Benaiah.
Well, now, I was not expecting that move from you, Benaiah. I will admit it.
No? You're a little worried for once.
Exceedingly worried. The king there. No. The knight? Benaiah, what is this? Have you really trapped me?
Could it be? Maybe for once. For once I've done it.
The knight there. No, not that either.
Your pardon, Majesty.
Huh? Oh, yes, my lad.
Her Majesty, the Queen Mother, asks pardon for interrupting your game, but wonders if you might attend her for just a moment in the long hall.
Oh, yes, of course. You will excuse me, Benaiah?
Of course, Your Majesty. There's just one move you can make in any case, and then I will have the game. I will wait and gladly.
Just one move? Wait a bit. I think I see another.
Huh?
Aha! There you are, Benaiah. See if the bishop there does not change the picture.
The bishop? He moved the bishop. Oh, no. The one move I never foresaw, and with that move, he has the game. He has it again. I thought, oh, no, it is too much. Is there no way I can win? No way, no way.
By hook or by crook you could win.
No. No, stop it.
By hook or by crook.
I will not think it. I will not remember the tempting of Asmodeus.
But look, only look. If he had put the bishop in that square instead of where he did.
It is true. If he had put it there, I could still win. I would be bound to win.
You could put it there, Benaiah. He did it all in such a hurry he would never notice. Move it, Benaiah. Move it and you will win. Win for once.
Yes, yes. To win for once, to win for once. There, I moved it.
Well, have you figured out your answer yet, Benaiah?
Why, yes, I think I have, Your Majesty. I do not think you improved your situation so much by that last move. As I see it, I have only to move here, and it is...
Wait, that is not the square to which I moved the bishop.
No. You made your move in such haste, Your Majesty. Perhaps you meant to move it elsewhere, but the fact remains, it is where it is.
And you say I moved it there, Benaiah?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Then it shall be as you say. Now it is plain you have only to move as you said, and you have the game, Benaiah.
Yes, like this, and checkmate, I win!
Yes, you win, Benaiah. Congratulations, old friend.
Yes, congratulate me. For the first time in all our thousands of games together, I have won, Your Majesty. What do you think of that?
What do I think? I had not known you cared so deeply for winning, old friend. It is time you won. Come, let us go to dinner now.
But Solomon was thinking more than he said. He knew beyond doubt that Benaiah had cheated, and he was sorely troubled, grieved that an old and trusted friend had stooped to such trickery, determined, however, that Benaiah must be brought to account for it. But how? Solomon sat quiet through dinner and through the evening, and the problem was still on his mind as he tossed and turned in his great bed.
All right. I will accuse him straight out. Tell him I know he moved the bishop. No. Instead of remorse, he will feel anger. He must be made to confess. Made to confess. Made to... Oh, this is folly. Every hour sleep retreats farther, and any decision with it. I will get up and go walk in the garden a while. Perhaps that will bring ease to my soul.
And so Solomon rose in the dark and went to the wardrobes for an old rough robe that he wore at times like this, when no one would see him and the trappings of kingship seemed heavy. He put on the rough old robe and slipped quietly out of the palace and into the gardens. Deep into the shadows he walked, his sandaled feet noiseless on the grass. There was no sound but the piping of the crickets, the rustle of leaves. Then suddenly, Solomon heard someone talking softly, not far off.
Well, friend, now what? How do we get into the palace? It was your idea as much as mine that we try to get some of Solomon's gold. You think of something.
Breaking in is no good. The guards would hear us.
What else can we do?
Perhaps I can help.
Who's that?
Just say I am another like yourselves, someone interested in the gold in that palace there.
I do not believe it.
He is a guard or something.
Here, have a look at me in the moonlight. Do I look like a guard in these clothes? I tell you, I am interested in the king's riches.
Then maybe you have some idea of how we can get into the palace and get some for ourselves.
As a matter of fact, I do. I can get both of you in, too.
Is it true? How? If you know how to get in, why should you be so generous to us?
The more of us that go in, the more we can carry out.
True enough. How do we get in?
Look, I have a key to the side door of the palace.
A key? How did you get that?
I have my ways. Come, shall we try it?
No, I do not like it. There will be a guard at the door.
That door is never guarded. The guard stands at the great door, but this is Solomon's own private door, and he prefers it unwatched.
You know a lot about the palace workings.
I have, friends inside.
Well, come on. What are we waiting for? Let us try this fellow's key and find out for ourselves. We're really inside Solomon's palace. Look, the floors are marble. And look, those vases. Yes, but first of all, where is the treasure kept?
I know that. Come, this way. The treasure room is right down this corridor, but quietly.
We're right behind you.
All right, here we are. Here is Solomon's treasure room.
Look, chests ranged all around the room.
All of them full of gold and silver and jewels.
Yeah, but they're locked. All of them.
That is all right. I know where the keys are kept.
You know that, too. You know an amazing lot, fellow.
I told you I have friends. Now, wait here, both of you, while I go fetch what is needed.
We'll wait? Why not go with you?
I can manage better alone. It will be quieter, too.
All right, we will wait. But hurry.
Yes, never fear. We will be at the finish of this before you know it.
And so Solomon left the two thieves in the treasure room and hurried off to his own rooms, where he doffed the old rough robe and put on his own kingly raiment. Then he went forth again into the palace and down to the great door where the guard stood.
Good evening, Hezekiah.
Your Majesty, is anything wrong?
No, nothing is wrong. I've just come to tell you that I have caught a couple of thieves for you.
Thieves? In the palace?
Yes, they're waiting quietly in the treasure room at the moment.
Thieves in the treasure room? Oh, Your Majesty, I have not left my post for a moment. I cannot understand it. It seems impossible.
Be calm, good Hezekiah. I know you have not been lax in your watch. I let them in through my own side door.
You let them in?
I was out in the garden pondering a problem that oppressed me, and I heard them plotting to gain entrance.
You should have sounded the alarm for me, Your Majesty.
In which case they would simply have fled, Hezekiah. This way they have trapped themselves.
Yes, it is so, Your Majesty.
But that is it. That is the way.
Beg pardon, Your Majesty?
That is the answer for Benaiah, too. I will let him trap himself.
Your Majesty.
Never mind, Hezekiah. Get the thieves and put them in the guard room till the morrow, when the Sanhedrin will decide their punishment. I myself return to bed now. It has been a good night's work after all. I think I shall sleep.
Now, the Sanhedrin, as you may know, was the highest court in the land, and Benaiah, among his other duties, was the presiding judge. Solomon himself did not always attend its sessions, but this morning he had a plan. He waited till the members of the Sanhedrin were all assembled in the great courtroom. He waited till Benaiah himself had entered the room and taken his place.
Order, please. Order.
Then Solomon himself entered.
Greetings, Benaiah.
Benaiah looked up. It was his first meeting with Solomon since the chess game the night before. In spite of himself, he drew back a little.
Your Majesty, this is a surprise. Judges, elders, we are unusually honored this morning.
Thank you, my friends. Pray be seated again. I shall not disturb you long.
But it is not a disturbance, Your Majesty. Here, will you be seated?
No, thank you, Benaiah. I've come only for a moment to ask the Sanhedrin for some advice.
Advice? But, of course, Your Majesty, if there's any way we can be of service.
I have come to ask, what is the proper punishment for a thief?
Proper punishment for a thief? But I do not understand, Your Majesty. You bring no thief with you.
No, that is true. Still, I ask the question. What is the proper punishment for any man who plots to take by stealth and cunning something that is not rightfully his?
Your Majesty, this question is very unusual.
Oh, really, Benaiah? But I have not mentioned the most unusual part yet. Suppose there is no real proof of anything being taken or moved.
Well, Your Majesty, pardon me, please. 1,000 pardons, but before you go any farther, may I have a few words with you in private? It is most important.
So? Very well, Benaiah.
Gentlemen of the Sanhedrin, will you please excuse us for a few moments? There's something I must discuss with His Majesty. We will resume our session shortly. This way, Your Majesty. The little antechamber will be empty now. Enter, please.
Thank you. All right. We are alone now, Benaiah. What is it you wish to say so privately?
Oh, Your Majesty, it is true, every word you said. I am no better than a thief, and I deserve to have my crime proclaimed before all. But please, Your Majesty, show mercy just this once.
You deserve to have your crime proclaimed?
If you knew how I had suffered since last night, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, from the moment I moved that bishop on the chessboard while you were out of the room, I've been in torment.
So?
I won, but there was no pleasure in winning. I could not look at you or speak to you through dinner. All night I tossed and turned in my shame. Shame that I, Benaiah, whom you trust, should have stooped to cheating to win a chess game. Oh, Your Majesty, censure me, punish me. I deserve anything you wish to do to me, but since this is the first time, the only time I will be guilty of such an act, can you keep my shame between you and me?
Why, yes, I think so, Benaiah. I do not think there is any need for anyone else to know of it, ever.
Your Majesty, you are merciful. Now, punish me.
I do not see how there is need for more punishment. You have punished yourself since the moment you yielded to temptation. Your guilt has haunted you so that you confess when there was no need.
No need? What do you mean, no need?
I came before the Sanhedrin asking what to do about a thief. There actually were 2 thieves in the palace last night. 2 thieves whom I let into the palace with my own key.
There really were thieves?
They did not take anything. They had no opportunity. I sent the guard to take them as soon as I had them safely in the treasure room. Actually, they were not guilty of breaking in either, because, as I say, I helped them. All they were really guilty of was plotting. There really is some doubt about their punishment.
But when you ask, my own guilt answered. Oh, Your Majesty, you have my promise that never again will I listen to the voice of temptation as I did last night. But will you give me a proverb as well to help me remember this bitter lesson?
A proverb? Yes, you are right, Benaiah. All that has happened should give me thought for a proverb. How about, the wicked walk in darkness. They know not at what they stumble.
They know not at what they stumble. It is very true, Your Majesty. A wicked act brings its own darkness. And I stumbled when there was naught to stumble on.
As for me, I think perhaps I have learned something too. Even as I encouraged the thieves in their evil plans, so perhaps I bear some blame in your surrender to temptation, Benaiah.
Your Majesty.
I must admit it, Benaiah. I have always been too eager to win. Playing against an opponent who never gives another a chance to win in turn can hardly have been easy. I can see how the voice of temptation grew louder.
Oh, it should not have mastered me, Your Majesty. It never will again.
I am sure of it, Benaiah. Even so, I think perhaps there will be a little more balance in who wins our chess games in the future. We will share our victories. For the Lord hateth pride, even as other sins. Now we are chastened together. Let's get on with the day's work, old friend.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Philip Arnoff, member of the National Cabinet of the National Planning Committee of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and a prominent community leader. Mr. Arnoff.
The wonderful thing about Solomon's Proverbs is not so much that he perceived universal truths about human nature merely through observing others, but that many of his deepest insights came from an intense examination of his own motives. This is fittingly illustrated by today's Eternal Light drama, which aptly illustrated one of the great truths about human character, the danger of excessive pride. As King Solomon said in the book of Proverbs, a man's pride will bring him low. As I see it, there are two kinds of pride which one must guard against. One is the pride of the victor, whose success, whether intellectual, economic, political, or in any aspect of outdoing another, fills him with arrogance and dulls his conscience and consideration toward others. How many of us can truthfully say that we have not been guilty of such pride at some time in our lives? But there is also another kind of pride, which is as insidious and destructive as the pride of success. There is that of the self-righteous man, who, in order to blind himself to his own shortcomings, is quick to discern the faults of others, and thus shield himself by appointing himself judge and jury all in one. This turns into complacency, which leaves no room for self-improvement, since it precludes any attempt to change oneself. How many of us are free of these blind spots about ourselves? I do not say that we should be without reasonable self-esteem or justifiable satisfaction with our own achievements, for understanding oneself is often another manifestation of excessive pride, and without a realistic estimate of one's own abilities, a person will be unable to do the job in life which his propensities can fulfill. Just as this warning of King Solomon against overweening pride can be applied to individuals, so too is it equally relevant to the conduct of nations. We in America, with our great good fortune of both spiritual and material riches, must be particularly careful to guard against pride and complacency in our relations with other nations, and must continue to set an example of true generosity and integrity for all nations. For just as with people, so with nations, pride will bring them low.
Thank you, Mr. Arnoff. Our Eternal Light drama today, The King's Pawn, written by Marion Voigt, was adapted from Lillian Freehoff's Stories of King Solomon, published by the Jewish Publication Society of America. Cantor Robert Siegel sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Hal Burdick, Roger DeKoven, Haywood Hale Brune, Bert Cullen, and Hal Burdick, Jr. The narrator was Alexander Scorby. This is Mel Brandt. came to you from our studios in Radio City. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and was directed by Ward Byron. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, The Bridge, was written by Joseph Mindell and is based on true incidents in the life of Thomas Mann, with quotations from Order of the Day by Thomas Mann, published by Alfred A. Knopf.
An artist builds a bridge between life and mind. He may build with color, or form, or tone, or words. But always the bridge is between event and meaning, between the world and one who lives in it, that is to say, anyone, for the thoroughfare is not private. Let us then walk the bridge of Thomas Mann. I will tell you about Thomas Mann, but if you ask, is the story true, then you must not expect the answer to be either yes or no. Only remember that if the link between reality and imagination is slender, yet it can support the world, and truth besides. Then I will tell you first how Thomas Mann once watched a performance of Hamlet.
Oh, I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. The rest is silence. Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flight of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Thomas. Thomas, it's over.
Yes, Katya.
Then come.
Yes, of course. Let me help you with your coat, my dear.
Thank you. We're going backstage. Don't you remember?
Oh, I would rather not see Hamlet at his Herr Junge, not just now.
Now, we promised we must go, Thomas.
I suppose we must. Well, pardon me. Excuse me, if you please.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you. No, thank you. It was a moving performance, Herr Junge.
You were most gracious, gnädige Frau.
But I really mean it. And I'm sure that my husband agrees with me. Don't you, Thomas?
Oh, forgive me. I was remembering the dueling scene when the blood flows from your arm.
The blood, Herr Mann, was nothing more nor less than tomato sauce.
No.
Herr Mann, I give 6 performances each week. I'm afraid I could not spare quite so much blood.
Naturally.
Now, Thomas, you didn't really believe.
Of course not, my dear. No.
I'm very sorry, Herr Mann. That is, I regret that I have... I am a clumsy ox.
Thomas.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking.
I'm afraid that Herr Junge is rather upset.
Please, my dear sir,
It's quite all right. I have spoiled your enjoyment entirely.
No, quite the contrary. It was a remarkable illusion.
It was?
I saw blood. With nothing but tomato sauce, you made me believe that I was seeing real blood. Allow me to congratulate you, sir. It was a moment of artistic creation.
It was not always easy to know when Thomas Mann was serious. But then he might have said that it is not always easy to know illusion from reality. And this delighted him, although it sometimes gave him cause to reflect.
You know, Katya, a very strange thing happened today.
Did it?
I met Felix Krull.
Oh, I hope he and his family are well.
Katya, Felix Krull.
Who? Oh, Felix Krull, the story you wrote.
Yeah, there he was. I don't even remember the man's name. The same walk that I described, the same manner of talking, and a scoundrel, I'm sure, a real scoundrel.
But charming.
Oh, quite charming. It was an upsetting experience.
I would have thought you'd like to compare your Felix Krull with his model.
There was no model, Katya. I invented Felix Krull from head to foot, inside and out.
Oh, that is disconcerting.
That is, I think I invented him.
You've never met this man before?
No, not that I remember. Oh, yes, old Müller, the critic, was there.
Did he also recognize you as Felix Krull?
Oh, he winked and nodded with a knowing look in his eye.
You're pleased with yourself, aren't you?
Oh, he took me aside and talked at some length about his astuteness.
I know what you're thinking, Thomas.
Do you, Katya?
You're thinking, what a devil of a fellow you are, aren't you?
Why, I never said...
I can read it in your face. How you lead people around by the nose, you're thinking. You create a world, and they believe in it.
But I don't fool you, do I?
But of course you do. You're the Zauberer, aren't you? The sorcerer?
Am I? Tell me, do sorcerers also manage sometimes to fool themselves?
A writer builds a bridge, but it may be that he does not always know how he builds it, nor does he always know in the beginning if it crosses from one shore to another. For Thomas Mann, the beginning was when, at 25, he wrote his first novel and sent it to a publisher.
You are Thomas Mann?
You were expecting me, I hope?
Yes, of course. Only I thought you would be an older man.
Oh, is that important?
What? Oh, not at all. Well, I asked you to come to see me.
It was very good of you, sir.
But that doesn't mean I've decided to publish your novel. You understand?
I understand. If I may have the manuscript...
Sit down, young man. I want to talk to you. I knew your grandfather, the consul, and your father. Senator from Lübeck, wasn't he? And 3 times mayor of the city.
Twice.
Yes. Fine man. Highly respected merchant. Now tell me, do you think it is, what shall I say, proper to write a story about your own family?
But it's not the story of my family.
Oh, come on now, Herman. I've read your manuscript. The old man a consul, his son a senator, both merchants. Well, you have taken liberties, of course, but still... Now, why did you choose to write about them?
I wrote about those things that I knew.
What's the world coming to? Do they no longer teach young people to be logical?
It is not a question of logic.
On the one hand, it's not your family, you say, and on the other, whom else can you write about? Well, you can't have it both ways. Which is it?
I think it is both. I have written what I know and what I have imagined, and I hope that what I have made is more than the sum of the two.
Herman, I would like to read your manuscript again. It may be that I will, after all, publish your book.
The novel that was almost rejected was Buddenbrook's, eventually to be read by millions and earn the Nobel Prize for its author. It was the first arch of the bridge that Thomas Mann built with care and delicacy, and sometimes with changes in direction. For in the years after the First World War, life was changing with rapidity, especially in the Germany of the Weimar Republic.
Your name carries weight in Germany, Hermann. I ask you again.
It is no use, Franz, my friend. I will not address political meetings. I have no concern with the forms and institutions of government.
Forms and institutions? Hermann, the Kaiser was overthrown. The Prussian Junkers forced back. For the first time, the German people have a promise of democracy and freedom.
How can I make you understand? I am concerned with culture, not politics.
Good day, Hermann. I am sorry that I wasted your time and mine.
Wait, Franz. Franz, I do not want you to leave with bitterness. I have been honest with you, my friend.
Yes, you have made your position clear. You enjoy a luxury that only an artist can afford.
Luxury?
To be unconcerned with freedom.
How do you know what freedom means to me?
I have listened to you, Hermann.
You talk of freedom and mean elections and jury trial and free enterprise. The right of working men to be thoughtless citizens and businessmen to be irresponsible money grubbers.
You fail to mention artists.
And the right of artists to be irresponsible bohemians. That is not what I mean.
Then I have not understood you at all.
I am talking of moral freedom. The freedom to see the world as it is, to understand what I am, to look for truth and know it when I find it.
Are you so certain, Hermann, that there is no relation between moral and social freedom? Between the right to seek the truth and the right to vote?
No, Franz. I am past the age when things are certain. But this I know. I am not a political man. The audience is restless. Why are you shaking your head, Franz?
I was remembering how only a few short years ago you were convincing me that you were not a political man. Now you are to address a meeting.
You find it strange? Well, perhaps it is. But I have been learning to know myself. And whoever does that never remains what he was before.
Whatever the reason, I am happy for the change.
The world has also changed.
Not for the better. Not when the National Socialist Party can win seats in the Reichstag. Hermann, it is not entirely a friendly audience out there.
It doesn't matter so long as they listen.
Hitler has sent gangs of his fanatics. Now that the moment is here, I am not sure that
You are not sure that I should speak after all?
They stop at nothing.
In one respect, I have not changed, my friend. An artist also has responsibilities. If there are hours when the urgency of existence chokes back his own thought, when the general distress shakes him too, then he must do what he can, and art must wait.
Hermann, the meeting is about to begin.
Well, now is the time. They are waiting, Hermann.
I was thinking of what I said just now. Is there ever a time when the needs of existence are not urgent? When the artist is so free from the immediate that he can devote himself entirely to the eternal?
Please, Hermann.
Listen, at home on the shelves where I keep my own works, there are as many volumes of speeches, lectures, essays, as there are novels.
You can't keep them waiting any longer.
I'm ready now. Good evening, my friends. At an hour that is late for Germany and the world, I come to make an appeal for reason. I will talk of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, every single word of whose name is a fraud. How much longer it will be possible to speak freely, no one can say. Now, before it is too late, I ask you to subject the reasoning analysis, the high-flown, wishy-washy jargon, the hyphenated prefixes like race and folk, the fanatical barbarism that has such power to clog and stupefy the brain and make of human beings nothing more than... Look, Katya, there is Germany only a few miles. You can see it from the window. And here is Switzerland.
Do sit down, Thomas, and relax.
It's peaceful here, no hatred and violence and barbarism. It is still part of the civilized world.
Then enjoy it while you can. Our vacation is almost over.
3 years ago, I appealed to reason. In 3 years, they have taken over all of Germany. Katya, what's wrong with us that we permit such things to happen? Huh?
Excuse me. Hello? Yes? Yes? Oh, it's from Munich. Maybe it's the children. Hello? Erika! Oh, how good to hear you. Yes, I'm well, and Father, too. Now, Erika, you know, a little rain... Very well, a storm, whatever it is, it won't keep him away from his desk. Oh, Thomas, she says that we are to stay in Switzerland. That bad weather is coming.
Let me talk to her. Yes. Hello? Erika. We are planning to leave in a day or so. Yes, I heard, but... I see. Erika, my dear, be careful. Be very careful. Auf Wiedersehen.
I want to go home, Thomas.
No, my dear.
Oh, it's only a day sooner. I want to be with the children.
They are making arrangements to join us. Bad weather is coming. Very bad. The house cleaning, Erika says, will be too much for us.
Thomas Mann, who had begun by proclaiming himself long ago an unpolitical man, now lived in exile because he would not be silent. Words long unused in our time were heard again: exile, émigré, refugee. And when they met, these exiles, the émigrés, the words they spoke were dark with hate. But since he was Thomas Mann, there was also something more.
Hatred is the only right, the only possible reaction of those who love civilization.
My feelings need no logical justification, Hermann.
And yet I think that those are not our best hours in which we hate.
We are not given a choice.
But we are, Franz. When my hatred is overcome by the need for freedom, for reason and objective contemplation, I am intrigued by how big a role one man, such a man, plays in history. Intrigued? Consider, my friend. Here is a man 10 times a failure. Lazy, incapable of work, a disappointed bohemian artist, who has learned nothing and will learn nothing, who cannot sit a horse or drive a car or fly a plane or do anything that men do, even to begetting a child.
Please, Hermann. I find it impossible at this time to take the philosophic view.
Then the loss is yours, Franz, not his. We must have a proper perspective. And besides, philosophy is a powerful stimulant to the sense of irony, which is the native element of all art.
Hermann, there is, after all, a distinction between art and life.
Not so great as people think.
Nevertheless, I find nothing to be amused about.
Don't you? Just think. He must be rather annoyed that my last book, The Magic Mountain, is outselling Mein Kampf.
But not for long. Only until the burning of the books, when all of Mann's writings were banned. And while the Japanese were ordained honorary Aryans, he declared to be no longer a German. But still he spoke, this time through a silent exchange of letters, a dialogue in space, across the boundary between civilization and barbarism.
To Herrn Thomas Mann, writer.
This, at least, you are still forced to acknowledge.
As Dean of the Philosophical Faculty of the University of Bonn, I inform you that as a consequence of your loss of citizenship...
Does the Third Reich still have citizens or slaves?
Your name is stricken from the university's roll of honorary doctors.
I have long since lost any pleasure in this academic honor.
Your right to use this title is cancelled in accordance with the regulations concerning the conferring of degrees.
I hold a more recent honorary degree of Doctors of Letters from Harvard University. Without boasting, I must quote the reason. For sustaining, together with a very few contemporaries, the high dignity of German culture. Do not say anything, Herr Dean. Nevertheless, there are things that I must say, not to you whom I do not know, but to the German people.
And by hidden and secret means, the people of Germany received his words, and read them, and repeated them.
I am supposed to have dishonored the Reich in acknowledging that I am against these miserable creatures who happen to have the outward power to deprive me of my citizenship. They have the effrontery to confuse themselves with Germany.
When, after all, perhaps the moment is not far off when it will be of supreme importance to the German people not to be confused with them. As a man
Where did you get that paper?
What difference does it make? Just listen. As a man who seldom or never, either by tongue or pen, let the name of the deity escape him, yet let me...
SS men, let's get away from here. Don't be a fool.
We're two friends talking in the street.
Then hide the paper, quick.
I don't have to look at it. I know the words by heart. This is what he said. Yet let me close this letter with a brief and fervent prayer. God help our darkened and desecrated country, and teach it to make peace with the world and with itself.
An artist builds a bridge with the tools he has in the years that are given to him. In the years when there was no peace anywhere in the world, not in Europe, nor in America, where Thomas Mann came to live, he used words, his tools, as an artist must. Every month he spoke by radio across the ocean to the German people, and some must have listened. And every day he worked at the cycle of novels that was becoming his life's work.
For Joseph was a man blessed with blessing from the heavens above and from the depths beneath. Well, Franz, what do you think of it?
What is there to say? The words cast a spell.
Only...
The Zauberer.
Did you say something, Katya?
Oh, just to myself, Thomas.
Oh. You have reservations about the story, Franz?
No. Only it seems strange that you should choose as the hero a biblical figure. Joseph, the son of Jacob.
Is it so strange? Joseph was also an exile, wasn't he? Banished by his brothers. But even more, he was a worldly man, and at the same time a man of God.
There. That is what I find strange. That you seem to have turned to religion.
It is nothing new and entirely natural since I'm a writer.
But I have read...
He's teasing you, Franz.
Oh, only a little. Franz, tell me why it is that in German we do not have one word to describe a writer. We must use two.
Dichter and Schriftsteller.
Exactly. Poet and journalist. It is a false difference that corresponds to that between culture and civilization, between God's will and the life of men in this world.
What has all this to do with Joseph?
Oh, don't you see? Jacob pronounced the blessing upon Joseph's head. And it was not a wish that he might be, but a statement that he was, blessed from the heavens above and the depths beneath. Joseph was a man on earth and a child of God, a link between, yes, between Schriftsteller and Dichter.
Thomas, my dear, aren't you confusing yourself with Joseph?
Oh, not only myself, but all men. For if a man is an artist, whether with words or with his life, what does that mean? That he has concern for the truth, for the good, the just and needful thing. In other words, the will of God. I hope that I have always been a religious man.
He was not attached to a piece of life, so he could see clearly all of life. Thinking to write of himself, he explained the meaning of his times. And out of his vision, he built between the mind and reality, between men and their world and God, a bridge that others might cross.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Joel Schenker of Cedarhurst, Long Island, a member of the Board of Directors of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and of Temple Beth El in Cedarhurst, Long Island. Mr. Schenker.
Thomas Mann is no longer alive. But the memory of what his life stood for is vital and significant today. This man, who was one of the great literary figures of the 20th century, and indeed of the whole history of Western literature, will remain forever a symbol of integrity and a protest against communism and Nazism, which seeks to blot out not only an independent political and economic life, but also an independent intellectual and spiritual life. Although his books were among those burned by the Nazis during World War II, the ideas contained within them could never be destroyed, nor can the stature of Mann's literary genius be diminished in any way. This act of barbarism only served to enhance man's position as a leader of the men of the Spirit against this attempt to destroy all that is meaningful in life. He will remain forever an immortal and eloquent spokesman for the preservation of spiritual values. Among the many themes which occupied Thomas Mann in his life was that of biblical narrative. His masterwork, the Joseph series, shows a deep understanding of biblical reality and of the forces which moved the great personalities portrayed in the Bible. His books about Joseph display a grasp of the factual and emotional factors involved in the career of this fascinating Hebrew personality. It is a study which enhances our understanding of the whole Bible story itself. The world is once again threatened by a totalitarianism which seeks to destroy the freedom of the mind and of the spirit. Once again, the world is threatened by a force which seeks to mold all men into one image. Once again, the world cries out for a voice whose message would be heard throughout the world. The message of Thomas Mann, which embodies the great heritage of freedom, the great Jewish contribution to the achievement of Western man, a message which will inspire all those who believe in freedom of the spirit and who fight for its preservation.
Thank you, Mr. Schenker. Our Eternal Light drama today, The Bridge, was written by Joseph Mindell and is based on true incidents in the life of Thomas Mann, with quotations from Order of the Day by Thomas Mann, published by Alfred A. Knopf. Featured in the cast were David Apatashu, Vilma Cura, Leon Janney, Theo Getz, George Petrie, and Donald Buca. Your narrator was Norman Rose. This is Mel Brandt. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and is directed by Daniel Sutter. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation, and it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, written by Seymour Wright, is entitled Once Upon a Sabbath.
The seventh day of the week has many names. In English, it's Saturday. In Italian, Sabato. The French say samedi. In Hebrew, it's Shabbat. But to a simple man like Mendel Zollman, names and words meant nothing. The seventh day was the Lord's Day, the Sabbath, an oasis in a long week of toil, the day for which Mendel Zollman lived. Mendel was a tailor in the village of Dubrova in Poland. From early in the morning until late at night, he sat at his workbench, carefully stitching the minutes and hours of his life into the garments of his neighbors.
Mendel, what are you doing sewing in this light?
I promised Schimmel I'd mend his coat so he could wear it to the synagogue tonight.
And if you ruin your eyes, who'll mend them?
All right. There, it's finished. Now, I'll get ready. I can take the coat, and Schimmel and I will go to the synagogue together.
Mendel, how is the fish?
Wonderful. Delicious. The best you ever made.
Father, you say the same thing every Sabbath.
Certainly, David. It's true every Sabbath. Why is it, Leah? Why is it? On the Sabbath, for some reason, everything is so much better. The sun, the air, the people in the synagogue dressed in their good clothes, the cantors singing like an angel. And even here, the candles, the white cloth on the table.
Mendel, dear, sometimes I think if it were up to you, we'd have Sabbath every day.
You know, that's not such a bad idea. Sabbath every day. It would be nice, huh? Of course, it couldn't. That is, every day. I wonder.
Where are you going, Father?
Nowhere, David. Just out for a little walk. There's something I have to think about.
You're joking.
My dear Schimmel, since when does Mendel Zollman joke about the Sabbath?
But it doesn't seem possible.
I'm not saying it is possible, but let's consider the matter calmly.
All right.
First of all, how is the Sabbath ended on Saturday afternoon?
Rabbi Akoran takes the cup of wine and recites the Havdalah.
Exactly. Now, what would happen if he didn't recite the Havdalah?
If he didn't? Well,
it's simple, my friend. The Sabbath would continue.
Oh, I don't know.
Schimmel, wouldn't you like to have Sabbath every day instead of only once a week?
Yes, of course.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Here, this buttonhole in your coat, I sewed it, right?
Yes, that's right. But
first, I threaded my needle. Then I stitched the buttonhole. And then I made a knot and bit off the thread. Now, suppose I didn't tie the knot and left the needle and thread hanging. What then?
It wouldn't be finished.
Of course. And if Rabbi Akoran leaves out the Havdalah, the Sabbath won't be finished either.
Buttonholes are buttonholes. And Shabbos is Shabbos. I don't know.
Here comes Chaim Lieber. Let's ask him. After all, he's an authority on these matters. His second cousin on his wife's side has a nephew who's studying the Talmud in Warsaw. Chaim Lieber. Kayaliba, wait a minute.
Mendel Solomon says it's a simple matter, providing the rabbi agrees.
If you ask me, it's very logical.
If you ask me, it's too logical.
Wouldn't it be wonderful? Just imagine, almost like the coming of the Messiah.
It's a perfectly sensible idea. I think we should form a committee and submit our petition to Rabbi Akoron.
This is a very good idea. Let's form a committee. Very good. So we thought we would come and ask you. That is, we were hoping you could do this for us, Rabbi Akoron, for all the people of Dubrovnik.
Yes. Let me understand. You want me to refrain from reciting the Havdalah today in order to keep the Sabbath from coming to an end?
Yes, Rabbi, if such a thing is permitted.
Well, I don't know. This is a most unusual request.
Rabbi Akoron, if I may explain. Only one Sabbath day out of every 7. For us, it's not enough.
Not enough?
All week long, we work hard and wait patiently. For what? For the coming of the Sabbath. And then what happens? Before we turn around, before we even know it's here, 1, 2, 3, it's all over.
I understand,
Besides, on the Sabbath, everything is so pleasant. The service is beautiful. The people are friendly. That there's time for us to rest, to be with one another. Well, we were wondering, why can't we have this every day?
My dear Mendel, according to the Scriptures, 6 days shalt thou labor and...
Yes, of course. We wouldn't think of going contrary to the Scriptures. That's why we decided to place the whole matter in your hands.
No, I'm sorry. I really can't...
After all, you, dear Rabbi, you're a wise and learned man. We're just simple villagers. These things aren't for us to understand, but we were hoping somehow...
You really think you would be happy with Sabbath every day?
Oh, yes.
All of you want this?
Yes. All of us.
I see. Very well, gentlemen, I agree. It will be done. Just as you requested.
Oh, thank you, Rabbi. Thank you. Sabbath every day. It's a miracle. A dream come true.
I said all along it was logical.
I still say too logical.
My dear Leah, you should be very proud of Mendel.
I am.
Please, the idea could have occurred to anyone.
No, don't be so modest. What you did, it took genius.
All right, if you say so. We can't argue on the Sabbath.
The service was beautiful today, Mendel.
Beautiful. Beautiful as always. Sometimes, Leah, I feel like pinching myself to make sure all of this is real.
I know one thing that's real, your appetite. Tell me, Mendel, how is the fish?
Wonderful, delicious, the best you ever made. In fact, I think I'll have a little more.
There isn't any more, Father.
What do you mean?
Well, this is the 3rd day in a row we've had Sabbath. The fish is all gone.
Well, no matter. This afternoon you'll buy some more. Thank God we can afford it.
Buy fish today? On the Sabbath? Shame on you, Mendel. And besides, even if I wanted to, the store is closed.
Oh, yes, I forgot. Well, in that case, I'll settle for a bit of chicken or maybe a small piece of boiled beef.
My dear Mendel, Ezriel the butcher is just as religious a man as Avram the fish peddler. His store is closed, too. All the stores are closed.
All the stores? I didn't realize.
Father?
Yes, David?
Tonight, will we have to go to bed again as soon as it gets dark?
Yes, I guess so.
I thought you could help me with my lesson. Red Shayer hasn't been here for 3 days now.
David, please, try to understand. You know we're not permitted to light candles or lamps on the Sabbath. So, after sundown, to sit here in the pitch-dark house, it doesn't make sense.
But, Mendel, we can't go on like this, night after night.
Leah, I'm sorry. What can I do? We must all manage the best way we can.
Schimmel, come in, come in.
Excuse me for intruding, Mendel. I can only stay a second. I have to get dressed for the synagogue.
Yes, me too. So, what can we do for you, my friend?
I was wondering if I could borrow a few eggs, perhaps.
Such a question. All you want, Leia, bring Schimmel some eggs.
All right, but I'm afraid we can't spare many. We only have a few left ourselves.
Only a few?
Well, Beryl the poultryman refuses to go into the hen house to collect the eggs. After all, he's just as religious a man as...
I know.
Mendel, so many things are going wrong. To be perfectly honest, everybody in the village is getting worried. What do you think we should do?
My dear Schimmel, Leia, I think we should call another committee meeting.
Very strange. Fred, please, let's try to remain calm. Please.
Calm. Now, due to certain circumstances, we need fish, meat, all kinds of provisions. That's our main problem, granted. And I think there's a solution.
What is it, Mendel?
Here in Dubrova, we are enjoying the blessings of a perpetual Sabbath, right?
Yes, sir. That's quite right.
But in all the other towns and villages near us, it's now the middle of the week.
Yes, of course.
Which means that their stores are open for business.
Yes, of course.
So, all we have to do is send a delegation to one of the neighboring villages and...
Mendel, you want us to engage in business? To deal with tradesmen on the Sabbath? And how would we bring everything back? You know we're not allowed to carry bundles today.
That's quite right.
I'm sorry. It slipped my mind. Forgive me.
Shame. It was a good plan.
It's still a good plan. If we ourselves can't go, we'll send the children.
The children?
Gentlemen, if I may explain, please. The children are, minors, which means they are not subject to the Sabbath laws in the same way we are. That is, not as strictly. In their case, dealing with the tradesmen and carrying bundles, small bundles, might be considered permissible.
That's right.
So what I had in mind, perhaps we can arrange a caravan, a pilgrimage of the children, some of the older ones, like my David. We can send them to Sosnowich. After all, it's only a short distance, and if each one brings back as much food as he can carry, God willing, we'll have enough to tide us over for a while.
That's the perfect solution.
David, you understand now exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yes, Father.
Remember, you're in charge. Don't let any of the children carry too much. And don't talk to strangers on the way.
We won't.
You understand how to explain to the tradespeople about the money?
Yes, Father.
Yes, and David, don't forget, we can't cook on the Sabbath, so be sure to bring food that doesn't have to be specially prepared.
All right, Mother. I'll be careful.
Fine. Come along, then. It's time for all of you to get started.
Good day, gentlemen.
Good day, sir.
I don't believe I've ever seen either of you here before.
We're not from Sosnowich. We're from Dubrova.
Ah, world travelers. And so young. Well, what brings you to Sosnowich?
We'd like to buy some smoked fish, if you don't mind.
Mind? Why should I mind? That's what I'm here for. There's whitefish, excellent salmon. Anything you want, gentlemen. Take your choice. If you have the money, I have the fish.
About the money. Could we pay you later on? I mean, some other time.
Some other time?
Well, David means, we're not permitted to carry money today because of the Sabbath.
Sabbath? What Sabbath? This is Tuesday.
Not in Dubrova. In Dubrova, it's Sabbath every day.
Every day?
It's true, sir.
Now, boys, shame on you. You shouldn't make jokes about a thing like the Sabbath.
It's not a joke. Rabbi Aquarian arranged it himself. Sabbath every day. That's how it is in Dubrova.
Very well. Have it your own way.
Sir, about the fish. If we could take some now and pay some afterwards when we...
No. I can't give you good fish in return for a few promises. I'm sorry, but after all, two young boys whom I never saw before and this ridiculous story of yours...
It's not ridiculous. You must let us have the fish.
Please, sir. All our stores are closed today.
Of course they're closed, of course. This is Tuesday, the Sabbath. Everybody knows that.
And the same thing happened wherever we went, Father. Nobody in Sosnovich would listen to us or give us anything. They all acted like we were foolish or something.
Mendel, perhaps if we sent them to Bedjin or the wolves?
No, Schimmel. I'm afraid it wouldn't be any different.
And now, to make matters worse, we have a cantor to worry about. The poor man, he's losing his voice from so much singing.
What about Rabbi Akoran? His voice doesn't sound so good either. Conducting services from morning to night, day after day. It must be something of a strain.
You know, it's a very puzzling thing, but I don't enjoy the Sabbath service as much as I used to. There was a time I would look forward to it so much, all week long while I was working. But now I can't understand it.
Mendel, you think perhaps having Sabbath every day could be a mistake?
No, of course not. It's just what we wanted.
Yes, of course. We wanted that.
My friends, please, don't be discouraged. I think we should try again.
You mean send the children back to Sosnovich?
Yes. Only this time they'll take money.
But, my dear
I know, Chaim, I know. Handling money on the Sabbath isn't allowed. But please, bear in mind that the Sabbath applies only to our own village and not to Sosnovich.
She's right. Mendel's right.
Well, if this is the case, it follows logically that once the children leave Dubrova, they're not necessarily bound by our Sabbath laws.
To me, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I agree. A lot of sense. Then what do you all think? Should we send them again?
Oh, by all means, yes.
Personally, I'd be delighted to have them try again, but, Chaim, first you'll have to mend my Aaron shoes.
Me? You want me to mend them?
Of course. You're the cobbler, aren't you?
Yes, but everyone in Dubrova knows that Chaim Liba does not work on the Sabbath.
Chaim, be reasonable. Look at these shoes. How can the boy walk to Sosnovich in them?
That is no concern of mine. You're his father.
But the shoes are falling apart, you fool.
Shoes? What about my roof?
Your roof?
Yes, you were supposed to come 2 days ago and fix the leak. One more bad rainstorm and my whole house will be washed away.
Who cares about your stupid house? If you don't mend shoes on the Sabbath, then I don't mend roofs.
Schimmel, you keep out of it, Mendel. You never fix my wife's dress. No, her best dress. And she can't even wear it to the synagogue.
Shouting at Mendel like he was on the Sabbath.
He's a very one.
Don't you get so My friends, what's happening to us? What's happening to us?
Come in.
Rabbi Akoran, could we, just for a moment?
Of course, gentlemen, come in. I've been expecting you.
You were expecting us?
Yes. It is about our Sabbath arrangements, isn't it?
To be frank, Rabbi, yes, that's why we're here. We seem to have run into a number of difficulties. All our shops are closed. Nobody is working. There are no provisions left. And yesterday, Rabbi, I'm ashamed to say it, we almost came to blows. Can you imagine such a thing here in Dubrova?
Yes, just about as I figured.
You mean you knew we would have trouble?
Mendel, Chaim, my dear friends, please forgive me, but, well, I agreed to your petition for one reason. Because I knew that it wouldn't work.
Well, then why didn't you just tell us we were wrong?
Because after listening to you, the things you were saying, I felt in my heart that the best way, the only way to explain the real miracle of Sabbath would be to let you see it for yourself. You remember, Mendel, when you came here last week? You said that only one Sabbath day of every 7 was not enough.
Yes, I remember.
Well, you know, you were right. But That's the true beauty of the Sabbath day. The fact that it's always not enough. The fact that each one must be earned by hard work, week after week, in order to be really valued and appreciated. That's why it's written in our scriptures. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. Work and rest, physical man and spiritual man, each one is necessary to the other. Each one balances the other. The working days of the week are what give our Sabbath day its shape, form, and meaning. And without them, well, you saw what happened?
Yes, it was quite an experience.
Gentlemen, tonight at sundown, I would like to end the Sabbath as usual by reciting the Havdalah. Is that agreeable?
Oh, yes. Rabbi Akoron, on behalf of the people of Dubrovka, we would like to thank you for teaching us.
No, my dear Mendel. It is I who must thank you for teaching me. Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who makest a distinction between holy and profane, between light and darkness, between Israel and other nations, between the seventh day and the 6 working days. Blessed art thou, O Lord, who makest a distinction between holy and profane.
So the experiment is over at last. Good.
Now we can get back to normal.
I can't understand. To me, it seemed logical.
Too logical. I said so all along.
Schimmel, if you give me Aaron's shoes, I'll be glad to mend them.
Thank you, Chaim. I'll bring them over in the morning. While I'm there, I can go to work on your roof.
Mendel, don't look so sad. After all, you meant well.
Yes, I did. That's true, but it turned out so badly.
So it turned out badly. But we all learned something, didn't we?
Anyway, Father, it was a very nice idea.
Leia, David, do you think perhaps every other day?
Day, Mendel.
All right. It was just a thought.
You've had enough thoughts for a while.
Well, I suppose you're right. In that case, if you'll be kind enough to bring me a lamp, I think I'll sit down and do a little work.
You're going to work now? Tonight?
Why not? There's so much piled up, so much to do. Svia's coat, Annalieber's dress, the new suit for Schimmel's boy. Besides, somehow it make me feel good. Just for a little while.
All right, dear. I'll bring the lamp. Here. No sense in ruining your eyes over Svia's coat, eh?
Thank you. That's fine. You know, Leia, it's good to feel the cloth in my hands, to have the lamp burning again. Work and rest. Rabbi Akorn is a very smart man.
Look, Mendel, how brightly the lamp shines.
Tonight, my dear Leia, with a special brightness.
If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Meyer Marcus of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, president of the Germantown Jewish Center and a member of the National Cabinet of the National Planning Committee of the Jewish Theological Seminary. Mr. Marcus.
In this busy, practical world of ours that puts such a high premium on logic and science, it's especially delightful to hear a script like Once Upon a Sabbath, in which the logical man encounters the defects of too much logic. Enjoying the Sabbath pleasures all week long seemed a good logical idea. But that very logic blinded Mendel and his friends to the underlying reason for the Sabbath. The Sabbath, a day devoted to peace, rest, and prayer, has real meaning only when it's balanced by 6 days of workaday living. The Sabbath was not designed as a pattern for everyday life. Man appreciates the beauty of the Sabbath because of its pleasant and all too brief contrast to all the other days of the week. As Rabbi Akorin told the villagers, the true beauty of the Sabbath day is the fact that it is always not enough. The villagers fail to understand that the Sabbath is part of the total week. More than a day of rest, it is a day of rejuvenation when men can pause and recognize themselves as partners with God, looking ahead to the coming work week with its renewed opportunities for achieving God's design in the universe. The villagers were taught the difference between the holy and the profane. They were desecrating the Sabbath by extending it beyond its lawful limits. Logic is a fine instrument when properly used, but applied without understanding, it can lead to the absurd. This is as true for us in the conduct of our daily affairs as it was for the villagers in the story. To appreciate the gift of Sabbath rest, we must truly understand the Talmudic saying, the Sabbath is not given into your hands, but you are given to the Sabbath.
Thank you, Mr. Marcus. Our Eternal Light drama today, Once Upon a Sabbath, was written by Seymour Wright. Cantor Robert Siegel sang the liturgical music. Featured in the cast were Sam Gray, Beatrice Pons, Roger DeKoven, Louis Soren, Charles Penman, James Monks, Guy Repp, Inge Yolis, Dennis Balabio, and Peter Laser. Your narrator, Bert Cullen. This is Mel Brandt. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and was directed by Daniel Sutter. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, that they bring unto thee pure oil olive, beaten, for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generation.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, A Fruitful Vine, was written by Joseph Mindell.
on the ground before the silver throne, awaiting the entrance of Zaphenath, Lord over Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. It was the Egyptian custom, and for myself I didn't mind it. But I could see Reuben's majestic beard touched with gray, sweeping the earth. Judah with his lion's mane, Levi, Naphtali, Asher, all 10 of them my brothers, lying on the ground. It was not dignified.
How long will he keep us waiting?
Quiet, Judah.
Are we slaves to grovel in the dust while he perfumes his beard?
Judah was always impatient. I don't know how much longer Reuben could have restrained him.
He's coming. Now, Judah, remember to control yourself.
I know, Reuben.
Please, get up. Our eyes are dazzled by your splendor, Almighty Lord.
All right. Come now, get up.
We are greatly honored.
There. That's better.
We have brought you presents from Jacob, our father. Hammered silver, precious stones.
Very nice. Thank you, Reuben. Your brother? What about the youngest brother?
I am Benjamin, my lord.
You've brought him. Benjamin. Little Benjamin.
Is something wrong, my lord?
It's nothing at all. A speck in my eye that makes it water. Nothing more, only a speck.
Perhaps a little cold water.
My lord, our brother Simeon, whom you are holding hostage. Not hostage, Judah. It was only to make sure that you would return with Benjamin. I've sent for Simeon.
Then we ask permission to leave.
So soon? There's no hurry.
Our father is anxious about Benjamin.
Is he? I can understand that. But you wanted to buy food.
We do, my lord. Our crops have failed again this year, and there is famine in our country.
You shall have all the grain your animals can carry, and you will not pay for it.
We can afford to pay.
Don't be proud, Judah. Besides, I insist, you will have the grain and presents, too.
We thank you, my lord.
Not at all. Give your sacks to my servants to be filled.
If it please you, we will go to the granary ourselves to save time.
No. While you wait, we will eat together.
I have explained, my lord. Jacob, our father, is worried about Benjamin.
Judah, you will not refuse my hospitality.
My lord.
Judah, my lord, we will not refuse.
I'm happy, Reuben. Sit down, all of you. Benjamin, you sit beside me. We will eat together, and then you will go home to Jacob, your father.
Hurry, Benjamin. You're lagging behind.
I was thinking of him, Judah. Of the Egyptian. A strange man.
He's an Egyptian. Do you think you seem less strange to him?
Why should he cry? He said it was something in his eye, but he was crying.
Maybe it was the sight of you. Little Benjamin.
Go on, laugh, I know. I have 10 sons and a middle-aged paunch.
Little Benjamin.
Now, that's another thing. Only our father calls me that. No, there was someone else, but it was long ago.
If you mean Joseph, why don't you say so?
Does it still upset you, after so many years, to be reminded of Joseph?
You talk too much, Benjamin.
Do I? Maybe I do. I wonder what presents he put in our sacks. And why wouldn't he take money for the grain? I don't understand.
You don't have to. We have the food. Simeon is free. That's enough.
Look at Simeon. For a hostage, he was certainly well fed and well cared for. What did he want with Simeon?
You heard. It was only till we brought you to prove we weren't spies.
That's what he said, but how does it prove you're not spies if you bring me?
Once and for all, Benjamin, will you be still and hurry?
All right. Only between you and me, Judah, I'm in no hurry to get home.
I'll feel safer when we're out of Egypt.
It's all very well for you and the others.
Stop! In Pharaoh's name, stop!
You're free to go where you like, but Jacob has kept me bound to his side.
Stop your caravan!
So it's not yet finished.
Is this how you repay hospitality?
What do you mean? We've done nothing.
Do you call it nothing to steal the silver drinking cup of the lords of Phenith?
We're not thieves. You can tell the lords of Phenith...
Judah, I'll do the talking.
This is too much, Reuben. First he calls us spies and holds Simeon hostage. Now he accuses us of stealing.
I am the eldest, Judah.
I'll talk. Sir, my brother means no disrespect. As he said, we do not steal.
Yet the cup is missing.
If you find it in the sacks of any of us, then take us all as slaves of the Lord Zephanath.
Good. Sergeant, search them.
That was a rash bargain you made, Reuben.
Honest men have nothing to fear, Benjamin.
Aha, the cup. Here in the sack.
In my sack?
Benjamin.
Oh, don't be a fool, Reuben. Of course I didn't steal it. Do you know, Reuben, I had a feeling we would see him again. The Lord Zephanath.
What made you do such a thing?
What shall we say, my lord?
Did you think I wouldn't know it, Judah?
I do not understand what happened.
It's quite clear. The cup, my cup, was in Benjamin's sack.
We are not thieves, my lord.
Now, you are about to deny the theft, Benjamin.
I was about to say, the Lord of all Egypt must have hundreds of silver cups. It's surprising that you noticed this particular one was gone.
That has nothing to do with it. Nobody likes to have his things stolen.
My lord, the presents you gave us were worth much more than the cup. Why should we steal it?
You're very clever, Benjamin. I won't hear another word. Listen to me, all of you. You made a promise to my captain before he searched you.
We gave our word, my lord.
I'm a reasonable man. The cup was found with Benjamin. He will stay. The rest of you are free. Go in peace.
My lord, let me speak.
By all means, Judah, speak.
When we came to Egypt the first time, you asked about our father. Now I will tell you. He is an old man, and he had 2 sons of his old age. Benjamin and another.
How strangely you put it. Yet I know exactly what you mean.
Now only Benjamin is left. And if he too is lost, Jacob our father will surely die. Let him go.
The cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
My lord, in our country in Canaan, Jacob is a king, and I am a king's son. I am not accustomed to plead or to beg. My lord, keep me here. Keep us all. Only let Benjamin go.
My brothers. My brothers.
We ask it for Jacob our father.
Come closer. Look at me. Don't you know who I am?
You are the mighty Zephanath who holds life in his hand.
Judah, I am your brother. I am Joseph.
No.
I am Joseph, whom you threw in the pit 20 years ago or more and sold into Egypt. Come close and let me kiss you.
No.
I'm not angry. I forgive you for what you did.
You are generous, Joseph.
Look around you. Look at me. This is my palace, my throne. My brothers, why would I bear you a grudge?
You've done well in Egypt.
Maybe it was meant to be this way, that I was to be the first.
Always the first.
To come before you to prepare. Don't you see? There's famine in Canaan, but in Egypt there is plenty. Go, bring Jacob, our father, and your families. You will live here and I will feed you. Go and return quickly. But first, give me your hands, my brothers.
We will do as you say, Joseph. We will tell Jacob that you are... We'll tell him what we have learned.
Judah, you won't take my hand.
But I will.
Benjamin.
Joseph, welcome back.
Hurry, Benjamin.
He won't send soldiers after us this time, Judah.
What makes you so sure?
He's not Zephanath now, but Joseph, your brother. You don't have to be afraid.
I'm not afraid.
But you're thinking that Joseph has even more reason to send his soldiers.
Don't tell me what I am thinking.
Because it was your hand that tore the coat from him. And Simeon's that threw him into the pit. And it was Asher who took the money from the Midianite to whom you sold him as a
Benjamin,
slave.
you don't know anything about it. You weren't there.
No. I was with Jacob when you brought the coat of many colors covered with blood. Was it goat's blood? Oh, but you don't have to be afraid.
I'm not, I tell you.
Because Joseph has said he forgives you.
I didn't ask to be forgiven.
You aren't afraid, Judah. You're angry.
Now stop quarreling, you two. I've been thinking how to tell Jacob.
Oh, good news is easy to tell, Reuben.
I'm afraid the shock may be too great for him.
I don't think so. Reuben, I think the shock is great for my brothers. When we told Jacob, he closed his eyes for a moment, and when he opened them, he was revived.
It is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will see him before I die.
Then he rose, he and his sons' children, Jacob and all his seed, journeyed from Canaan over into the land of Egypt. When Joseph saw him, he fell on Jacob's neck and wept a good while. There were many who shed tears, and each no doubt had his reasons, but Jacob sent them all away and remained alone with his son Joseph. Having talked of the past, they let it rest and spoke of what was now.
I'll show you my house, Father, and the storeroom.
Oh, it is not necessary, my son. I see that you have done well in Egypt.
All will be well for you, too, and for my brothers and their families. I will provide for them.
Your brothers can provide for themselves. We can pay for what we need.
Where will you go? There's famine in Canaan, and in all the nations except only Egypt. You know I'm right.
It is a terrible burden, my son, to be always right.
You will live in Goshen. The Pharaoh has given land for pasture and for crops. He will stay and live here with me in Egypt.
It may be easier to come into Egypt than to go out again. Still, Joseph, we have no choice. We will stay.
It pleases me, my brother, that you prosper in Egypt.
We manage.
You always were the cautious one, Reuben. I've not seen you these past weeks because I've been busy, naturally, with affairs of state.
Naturally.
Did you say something, Judah?
Nothing.
And also because it takes time to become accustomed to a new place. I know that well. But now...
Now?
Now I invite you all to dine with me. Well, nothing to say.
It is a great honor, Joseph.
Oh, come now, Judah, don't be so formal.
I speak only for myself. I will not...
Judah speaks what is in all our minds. There is much we have to do. Build shelters for the cattle. Prepare the fields.
You will not dine with me.
You would find us poor table companions. We fall asleep when the day's work is done.
Reuben, Judah, listen to me. All of you. I've forgotten what happened long ago. Besides, it was all for the best. My brothers, I forgive you.
Who asked you to forgive?
For our father's sake, for Jacob, let us be friends. The past is over and done.
Is it? Once you dreamed a dream, Joseph, and told it. Behold, you said, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowed down to you.
It was long ago.
All bowed down. Father and mother and 11 brothers.
It was a child's dream.
Did you think of it when we lay on the ground before the mighty Zapheneth? Did you? It's not over and done with. No, Joseph. A child's dream long past has come to life.
Threw me into the pit and sold me to the Midianites, and they are angry.
What did you expect, Joseph?
You too, Benjamin. You and I, the only sons of Rachel, and you are also against me.
No, I'm not against you.
Have I also done you an injury?
You're putting words in my mouth, Joseph. But even for me, it was not easy.
Then you also complain. Sheltered and pampered and loved by a father above all the sons who remained.
All who remained. You still remember to make the division, 1 and 11. Yes, Jacob kept me by his side and protected me and spoiled me and loved Joseph, who was gone. Not Benjamin, who was there.
That isn't true.
If not entirely, it's true enough. Yours was the love. But, Joseph, I did not begrudge it.
Then be my friend.
Not
Benjamin.
all the years we thought you were dead, the years in which you rose in Egypt.
Not one day of those years did I forget Jacob and my brothers.
Yet you did not speak. Not even when you knew there was a famine in Canaan everywhere except in Egypt.
I knew you would come. You would have to come.
And all bowed down to Joseph.
Did I bring it to pass? What power you give to a child's dream. Power to force men's actions and shape their lives.
Not a child's dream, but a man's silence from Egypt when Canaan mourned. And a business of spies and hostages and tricks with stolen cups and 11 brothers stretched on the ground before Joseph reveals himself.
Sometimes, in all these years, it has seemed to me as if the dream and the reality yet to come were born at the same instant, and it was only a matter of waiting.
The dream has power over the dreamer.
Does it ever end? When the dream is finished, does the anger remain?
I'm not angry, Joseph. You were the one who went away. Willingly or not, you went away, and we're alone.
Benjamin, I want to come back.
But Joseph lived at the right hand of Pharaoh, occupied with affairs of state. And we, my brothers and I, having come to the land of Egypt, we lived in Goshen, at the side of Jacob our father, and cared for the flocks, and worked the fields. Jacob grew old, and the time came when he felt he must die, and he called Joseph to come to him.
You must swear an oath, my son.
Whatever you ask, Father.
Abraham bought the fields of Machpelah in the land of Canaan for a burying place.
I don't like to hear you talk of such things.
Was it I who taught you, Joseph, to be silent when it is necessary to speak?
Father.
No. It is not a question meant to be answered. There in the fields before Mamre, they buried Abraham and Sarah. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. And there I buried Leah. Joseph, I want to rest there with my fathers.
It will be as you wish.
Swear it.
I swear it, Father. But here in Egypt...
Listen, my son. There is another reason than an old man's longing for familiar places. In time to come, I want no one to say, this is a holy place, for Jacob is buried here, and so be reluctant to depart from Egypt. Do you understand, Joseph?
I understand.
Then I am content. My eyes are weak, Joseph. There's someone standing there against the wall.
My 2 sons, Father.
I had not thought to see your face again, and God has let me see your sons. Bring them close to me, and I will bless them.
Manasseh, Ephraim.
Let them kneel at my outstretched hands. Yes, just so.
No, Father. Your right hand should be for Manasseh. He is the firstborn.
I know it, my son, I know it. Yet leave my right hand and my left hand where they are. Manasseh shall be great, but his younger brothers shall be greater than he.
No, not again the younger over the elder, the younger usurping the elder's place.
It is not a choice I am making. Or at least it is too late to choose.
You mustn't do it.
Not I, Joseph, but you.
Not again, Papa.
Don't you see? You were the favorite before you were born. You were the favorite during the 7 years I labored for Rachel, during the long years she was barren. When did Ephraim become the favorite?
I won't have it. I know what it means to be the usurper.
I also had an elder brother, Esau.
Then you also know.
Yes, my son, yes. But there comes a time when there's no longer a choice, when the truth of a man's being cannot be denied. One day, a day like any other, Jacob can no longer undo what he began. And it is clear that Joseph is not like his brothers.
Why should they hate me?
Well, maybe after all, that is how it was meant to be.
I have forgiven them. Then why do they hate me?
Joseph, my son, they have done you injury, and they do not forgive you.
Jacob called all his sons, and we stood before him to hear his words.
Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the end of days. Reuben.
I am here, Father.
Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the first fruits of my strength. Yet shalt thou not have the excellency.
I have known it a long time.
Simeon and Levi are brethren, weapons of violence their kinship. Let my soul not come into their counsel, for in their anger they slew men.
It was necessary, Father. You know that it was...
Judah is a lion's whelp. Thee shall thy brethren praise. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, as long as men come to Shiloh. And unto him shall the obedience of the peoples be. Do you hear, my sons?
Yes, Father. Yes. And me, Father. What will you say to me?
Joseph is a fruitful vine by a fountain. The archers have dealt bitterly with him, and shot at him and hated him. But the Almighty shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, and blessings of the deep beneath. The blessings of thy father shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of the prince among his brethren.
When Jacob died, we carried him out into the land of Canaan, to the field of Machpelah, before Mamre. And then we returned to Egypt. And we came 11 of us to the palace, second only to Pharaoh's, where Joseph lived.
Welcome to my house.
They have asked me to speak for them, Joseph.
Do my brothers need a spokesman to come before me?
What they have to say is not easily said.
Then say it for them, Benjamin.
Jacob, our father, is dead.
I mourned as they mourned.
They wish now to acknowledge that once they did you evil.
They waited long. Never mind. They meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. It was a long time ago, and I have forgotten.
Lest you remember, now that our father is dead, they asked me to say Jacob's words again. Forgive the transgression of thy brethren.
Who asked forgiveness? My brothers or dead Jacob?
Joseph.
They need no spokesman, Benjamin. The answer is written in their faces. My brothers, am I in the place of God that you fear my judgment?
Joseph, you are in the palace of Pharaoh, and they fear your power.
Then I put it aside. Judah, Reuben, Simeon, I forgive you.
You are gracious. We are your bondmen.
No, Judah, no, be my brothers.
Let me speak, Joseph.
Do you have another message from them?
What I have to say can be said only by each for himself. Joseph, I will be your brother. I forgive you. Much will be forgotten, but what will be remembered of any man he cannot know? I would wish men to remember that Joseph was a fruitful vine, and how I, Benjamin, was his brother, and why. If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Louis Weiner of Chicago, Illinois, a member of the Board of Overseers of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America and Vice Chairman of the National Camp Ramah Commission. Mr. Weiner.
The story of Joseph has captured the imagination of untold generations. Its impact is due to the dramatization of the universal tensions and dilemmas of life, its fidelity to the human predicament with which we all are faced throughout our lives. For every person, like Joseph and his brothers, is both a victim of the sins committed by others upon him and a wrongdoer. And though, as in the case of the story depicted on today's Eternal Light program, the moral dilemma itself is never completely resolved. We must, as Joseph did, with complete lack of reservation, forgive those who sin against us. We must as well repent of the evil we inflict upon others, for no one is merely a victim. We are all guilty of acting against others in our own interests. Man's inhumanity to man is not something which can be glossed over lightly, but it is a fact which must be recognized in order that we try to close the gap which prevents men from being true brothers. The ideal of brotherhood cannot be reached as long as the type of separation exists which is created by the sins committed every day by one man to another. Only when we willingly forgive those who have acted against us can this separation be breached, and brothers become brothers once again. Only when we repent of our trespasses can we be reunited with our fellow men. As we continuously strive to repent of the evil we do and to forgive others, we too, like Joseph, may grow spiritually to become fruitful vines.
Thank you, Mr. Weiner. Our Eternal Light drama today, A Fruitful Vine, was written by Joseph Mindell. Cantor Robert Siegel sang the liturgical introduction. Featured in the cast were Carl Weber, Leon Janney, Ralph Camargo, Mandel Kramer, Arthur Hughes, and Dean Almquist. This is Mel Brandt. Our director was Daniel Sutter. This weekly program is presented under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. This is the NBC Radio Network.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall be a statute forever in your generations.
The Eternal Light. The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations present The Eternal Light, a program which comes to you under the auspices of the Jewish Theological Seminary of America. Today's program, Hot Iron, was written by Joseph Mindell with quotations from Zola and His Time by Matthew Josephson, published by the Macaulay Company.
When he was young, he wrote pretty stories for children. But he grew older.
I am no maker of fairy tales, and I feel that the only way to attack evil is with a hot iron.
He was a hot iron, pouring out his passion to flood a world grown indifferent to evil.
First, I place a nail, and then with a stroke of the hammer, I drive this nail an inch into the brain of the public. And then with another stroke, I make it go another inch.
Loved and hated, honored and reviled, he expended the years of his life in setting the nails of truth.
It is only a man who makes an impression, not a book. We need men, not books.
His name was Émile Zola, writer of books, and a man. You could see him 100 years ago, almost anywhere in Paris, in the streets of the poor, the salons of the wealthy, high on the rooftops in the glow of the city's lights, down in the odorous dark of the Paris sewers. You might have seen Émile Zola one day in Les Halles, the great sprawling markets where the food is brought that nourishes the city.
Madame, pardon me, madame.
Who, me?
Yes, I wanted to ask you...
Oh, madame, he said. Say, did you hear him? Oh, shut up, all of you. Now, what do you want?
Tell me, do you lift these barrels of fish by yourself?
And maybe you'd like to help me?
Why, but of course, I'll just take off my coat.
Ah, never mind. You dirty your fine clothes.
Tell me, what do you do with the spoiled fish?
Here, what are you doing writing all of this stuff? Why, you're an inspector.
I can show his papers, Suzette. Oh, believe me, but, Suzette, I only asked because I want to know.
Be on your way. We don't like snoop. Don't answer him, Suzette.
Mind your own business. Oh, they mean well, monsieur. They're rough people.
Will you answer me, Suzette?
You tell me why you want to know.
Oh, it is a fair bargain. I want the world to know how you labor, all of you. How you struggle and suffer.
You're angry, monsieur.
Oh, injustice and indifference always makes me angry.
Then you must be angry very often.
And you? What about you?
Me? Oh, I do not know, monsieur. Maybe I'm too tired to be angry. Besides, I don't expect people to be concerned about me and my struggles.
They must be concerned. I will make them concerned.
Yes? You are perhaps of the Chamber of Deputies.
No, Madame Suzette. I am a novelist.
Give it up, my dear Zola. You are no novelist.
No.
It is my considered opinion as a literary critic of, if I may say so, of no little standing.
And of no few words.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, granted, since you cannot help yourself.
I don't know why I bother to talk to you.
Perhaps because my novels disturb your equilibrium.
Your novels, as you call them, are nothing but collections of filth and obscenity.
Everything I have written is true.
Sordid accounts of sordid misery.
My method is to show life as it really is.
Ah, yes. We know Zola, the Observer, with his pencil and notebook, in the literary salon at the soirée of society.
And also in the sewers of Paris.
Each man to his taste.
Truth is not a matter of taste.
Utterly irrelevant. A writer should seek to entertain his readers, to uplift, to stir the higher emotions.
Yes, I agree. The highest emotions. Compassion for suffering, sympathy for the weak, wonder at the passion for life, hatred for falsehood, anger at injustice.
My dear Zola, you are too full of hatred to be a writer.
Hatred is wholesome and good. It is the indignation of those who are outraged by mediocrity and stupidity.
You make yourself plain, Monsieur Zola. I will be equally blunt. I shall do everything I can to cut short your career. Now let your anger boil.
No. I tell you this calmly and with the utmost certainty. You cannot kill a book or words that speak the truth. You can try to bury them through silence or scandal, but they will be revived in their time.
Year by year, book after book, the words of truth accumulated. They were read not only in France, but all over the world. And of those who read them, many cursed him, others were frightened. And some wept in the presence of understanding. For if, as he thought, his novels were based on the methods of science, his portraits were painted with the passion of poetry. Émile Zola prepared himself day by day for the next work. Or perhaps the world in which he lived prepared him, as it was preparing another man, 20 years younger, for the role he was to play.
My military record, mon général.
Yes, I have it here before me.
My rating in the tests of the War College is among the highest.
Come to the point, Captain. What is it you want?
A post on the General Staff of the Army.
Well, that does not seem advisable now at this time.
Am I to take this as a denial of my request, sir?
Don't be so touchy. I speak as one who has your interest at heart. You people shouldn't be so aggressive, so eager to push yourselves forward.
I am asking for nothing more than that to which my record and my grades in the War College entitle me.
Of course. I'm not arguing with that. But consider, you would be the only Jew on the General Staff.
Mon General, I am an officer of the French Army as well as a Jew.
In short, you insist, eh? Very well. According to the regulations by which I am bound, you will be on the General Staff.
Thank you, Mon General.
Wait, I haven't finished. Remember what I tell you now. You may yet come to regret your insistence, Captain Dreyfus.
The convergence of two lives was still in the future. Émile Zola had never heard of the young captain of artillery, but he knew the France in which both lived, and the atmosphere in which a royalist, anti-republican, anti-Semitic newspaper could call itself, with impudent irony, free speech.
We know whose sinister manipulations have brought about the present financial crisis, and we know what should be done with this alien race.
Zola knew what it was to hear now and then in the streets of Paris new and dangerous sounds. And in these times, with these sounds in his ears, Zola sat down to write a newspaper article.
Emile, maybe it would be better not to publish this article now.
Go on. I'm listening.
Well, the very title itself, Pour les Juifs, for the Jews.
You don't like the title?
At a time like this, when there's so much feeling, maybe it's not expedient.
No?
What I mean is, your new book is coming out soon. You see?
I see. I must be still now, so as not to displease people who might buy my book. I must be expedient. Only, it is very inconsiderate of the Jews to choose this time to be mistreated and persecuted, isn't it, Henri? Isn't it?
Emile, I was only thinking of your good.
I know, my friend. Therefore I must speak out, for my sake, and for the sake of those who do not speak.
Few spoke out, and even fewer knew of the events of the autumn of 1894, when it was discovered that a member of the French General Staff was selling information to Germany. Certainly Émile Zola did not know of the investigation, nor the trial, nor the outcome.
The prisoner will rise. Captain Dreyfus, you have been found guilty of espionage and treason.
I am innocent.
Silence! Alfred Dreyfus, you are sentenced to imprisonment for the remainder of your natural life, and to be degraded from the commission you dishonored, and from the army of the French Republic.
Adjutant, tear the insignia from his uniform.
You are degrading an innocent man.
His sword, Adjutant. Break it in two.
I am innocent. Long live France. Long live the army.
Here it is, Emile. A short item on the back page.
What about it, Henri?
We'll read it.
Oh, it pleases you to be mysterious. And this one? Well, a prison ship departed today for Devil's Island, carrying the former officer convicted of espionage, Alfred Dreyfus. All right, I've read it. It would appear that there was a spy among the General Staff.
That seems to be reasonably clear.
And this, what's-his-name, Dreyfus, was tried and convicted, that's all.
Not quite all, Emile.
I am not so obtuse, my friend, that I do not see where you are leading. Dreyfus is a spy. Not a Jewish spy.
But that is precisely the point. There are people who say...
There are always such people. Only, I do not expect that all Jews or all Christians or all Frenchmen will be virtuous.
And Dreyfus is not virtuous?
According to the public record, he is guilty.
Yes, I know.
You are troubled, my friend.
Maybe it's I who am obtuse, Emile. You wrote pour le Juif.
Because I am against the persecution of Jews for being Jews, of any people for being what they are.
Yet now you seem to be indifferent.
Only if a man is honest, he is my friend. If he is a thief, I do not defend him.
Maybe it is not always clear who is a thief. In any case, you have given me a powerful motive to remain honest. Emile, you didn't hear a word I said.
Oh, I was thinking only how it must be there, on Devil's Island.
Guard.
What do you want?
There have been no letters. Why have there been no letters from home?
You ask me every day. I told you, the commandant...
I want to know what is happening. I must know.
It's no use to ask me.
They have forgotten. They have forgotten.
You must not ask me. I am not permitted to talk to you. Do you hear?
I do not understand.
Dreyfus, they have not forgotten. Listen, you have friends in France.
Monsieur Zola, not one of us knows Alfred Dreyfus as a man.
I myself have never even seen him.
Yes, that's right. Dreyfus has need of friends, Monsieur Zola. He is innocent.
Monsieur Lazare, you ask me to decide between two unequal alternatives.
Was it not you who wrote, in the matter of truth, there is no choice?
Well, yes, I must believe either that Dreyfus is guilty, or I must believe that a dozen men in the highest places in the army and the government have conspired to commit an act so dark and so evil that the mind refuses to accept it? What am I to think?
Think, Monsieur Zola, that there was espionage, that the General Staff needed a spy, and that they found Dreyfus, a Jew.
Lazare, he was tried by a French court and convicted.
Yes. We will not take any more of your time.
Wait. You have more to tell me?
A great deal more.
I want to hear it.
All the evidence against Dreyfus was not revealed to him or to anyone in order, the court said, to avoid difficulties with Germany.
Some of the evidence was false. For example, the handwriting of the intercepted message from the spy.
And some was entirely suppressed. Evidence about another man, the real spy. Do you want to hear more, Monsieur Zola?
Gentlemen, I thank you. Let us make plans. There is work to be done.
On Devil's Island, a man mouldered in a solitary cell, his hair grayed and his mind at times wandering. In Paris, a few men who did not know Alfred Dreyfus, who knew only a victim of injustice. A few men abandoned everything else and worked, friends of justice, to find new evidence and shout it to the people of France.
Silence has become impossible. Truth is on the march, and nothing will stop her.
Zola wrote words of fire, and the flames died at the wall of public resistance. When the elders of France seemed willing to sacrifice truth to save the General Staff, Zola wrote an appeal to the young people. And youth answered as their fathers did, drowning the voices of the few who followed Zola after justice.
Close the window, Henri! Gentlemen, I will finish reading my article for tomorrow's paper. I accuse the General Staff of the monstrous crime of convicting an innocent man. I accuse the handwriting experts of having made lying and fraudulent reports, unless a medical examination will certify them to be deficient of sight and judgment. I accuse the War Office of having led a vile campaign in the press in order to misdirect public opinion. And lastly, I accuse the court-martials of having violated all human rights in condemning a prisoner on testimony kept secret from him.
Monsieur Zola, it is masterful.
Wait, Lazar, wait. I have not finished. As to the men I accuse, I do not know them. I have never seen them. I feel neither resentment nor hatred against them. I have one passion only, for light, in the name of humanity, which has borne so much and has a right to happiness. Well, what do you think, gentlemen?
If any words can move the people of France, these are the words.
If, Lazar, if? Well, you have lost faith in the power of words, then, when they are true words. Listen, there is one more paragraph. In making these accusations, I am aware that I render myself liable to Articles 30 and 31 of the libel laws, which punish acts of defamation. I expose myself voluntarily. I am waiting.
You won't have long to wait, Monsieur Zola. The government will bring you to trial.
Good, isn't that what we want?
We who are here with you, what can we say? It is you who will be on trial.
Yes, it is something to think about. But once in court, we can reopen the case of Dreyfus and let the free air blow away the smell of evil. Well, you do not say anything, Lazar.
For so long we've been thinking of Alfred Dreyfus. Now I find my thoughts are of Emile Zola.
Oh, then put them out of your mind. Our only concern is that the people of France will have the opportunity to hear the truth.
Oh, listen, Emile.
There are you people of France. Prosecuting attorney and judge and jury at the trial of Emile Zola.
Counsel for the defense will limit himself to the point at issue.
But, Your Honor, my question goes to the heart of the matter. The handwriting on the intercepted message
The question will not be put. There will be no discussion of matters already judged.
I will prove that Alfred Dreyfus...
The question will not be put.
Madam Dreyfus, I will ask you to tell the court whether your husband was in Paris at the time...
Question will not be put.
I demand the right accorded to murderers and thieves to call witnesses, to have them heard.
The defendant will be seated. It is not your place to speak.
Someone must speak out.
You will obey the law of this court.
I do not know your law. I do not want to know it.
Please, Emile, control yourself. If the court please, I will repeat the question.
The question will not be put. The question will not be put. The defendant may make his statement to the jury.
Emile? Speak now, Emile.
Gentlemen, if I am here before you, it is because I wish to be, desiring of my own free will that the whole obscure and monstrous affair be brought before your jurisdiction. I tell you, Dreyfus is innocent. At this solemn hour, before this tribunal, which represents human justice before all France, before the entire world, I swear that Dreyfus is innocent. I desire that my country take no longer the way of deception and injustice. I may be sentenced here, and someday France will thank me for having helped to save her honor.
Quickly, Emile. A carriage is waiting at the side door. Emile!
Oh, is it any use when they don't listen? The verdict was ready from the beginning.
Hurry! There's no time to lose.
Then I am to go to prison. So be it. Still they will hear my voice.
If you don't come at once, Emil, no one will ever hear your voice again.
What? What are you saying, Lazar?
The mob is waiting for you at the front steps. We will leave by the side.
No.
Please, Emil, no heroics. I don't have your courage.
Are you afraid of them?
I don't exaggerate. They will tear you to pieces.
I'll tell you something. The sight of blood has always made me ill, and the thought of anyone's pain puts me in torment. I am also afraid, Lazar.
Then come quickly before they find you.
But if fear is such a terrible thing, we could have been expedient and silent. Open the door. Open it, Lazar! Here I am. What do you want of me? You have sent Alfred Dreyfus to a living death. If you take my life as well, what will you be killing? Emil Zola? An ugly man with a ragged beard and a habit of speaking many words? No! You will be murdering truth and burying justice and making a world for yourselves and your children in which fear and darkness will swallow all that remains of the humanity of human beings. Listen to me, my countrymen. Life does not flourish in the midst of falsehood, and strength does not arise out of injustice. Do not be afraid, my brothers. I tell you that a nation, a world, can live and be strong only when it throws the light of day upon the truth.
Emil Zola fought evil with a hot iron, pouring out his passion to flood a world grown indifferent to evil. In his time, the wrong that was done to Alfred Dreyfus, and thereby to all men, was undone by a world that he awakened. When he died, many mourned who once cursed, and these words were spoken at his grave.
He was, for a moment, the conscience of men. If you would like a copy of today's script, please send your name and address with 10 cents to cover the cost of postage and handling to the Jewish Theological Seminary of America, 3080 Broadway, New York 27, New York. And now we take great pleasure in presenting Mr. Fisher Abramson, a prominent community leader of New Bedford, Massachusetts, and a member of the Board of Overseers of the Jewish Theological Seminary. Mr. Abramson.
We have no choice in the matter of truth. That sentence seems to me to sum up the life of Emil Zola. For no matter what he directed his attention to, he faced it with uncompromising honesty. In his novels about the miserable social and economic conditions of France, in his brave defense of Alfred Dreyfus against the entire general staff of the French army, Zola allowed neither comfort nor cowardice to stand in the way of the principles of justice and right by which he guided his life. Vilified because of his steadfast stand against corruption and dishonesty, his way won in the end. His political courage in the famous Dreyfus affair remains a living example of the power of truth over falsehood, of honesty over corruption, of idealism over expediency. It is very easy to be on the side of right when one is not directly involved. It is very easy to deplore dishonesty and lack of principle when one is an impartial observer or in no danger of being victimized by such behavior. Very little courage is needed to speak out against injustices taking place halfway round the world so that one's stand involves no personal danger. What requires courage is to stand up against the forces of evil, where keeping silent would mean safety, and where speaking out means involvement in a situation in which one has no direct personal concern. Fortunately, there are men of courage who believe that truth cannot be ignored for personal gain, who are not afraid to sacrifice their safety to uphold the principles which are the basis upon which man's dignity rests. But if we are ever to see an end to the injustice and cruelty which abound around us, we must all in our daily lives fight for truth and justice. It is not merely through the efforts of a few men of courage, but through the efforts of all men everywhere, that the impulses for evil will be outweighed by those for good.
Thank you, Mr. Abramson.